Tinfoil Tidbits, episode 25, the Tinfoil Tindemic. It is the commoditizing and securitizing of behavioral compliance. And that's a quote from Catherine Austin Fitts. The commoditizing and securitizing of behavioral compliance. Think about that one. That is... Videos that YouTube recently removed of mine. My book review of JFK Jr.'s book, a video on how to get resources from the Department of Justice website, and 3 of the Tinfoil Tidbits episodes have also been removed. So if you go on the playlist and you see the sequence is out of sequence, because they're out of here. YouTube doesn't want that here. Innovating our own prison. The introduction of compulsory through the back door. You'll have more freedom if you submit to our demands. It's medical Jim Crow. There was an ancient library discovered in Tibet in 2003. I just heard about it now. The footage was amazing. It's like floor-to-ceiling manuscripts and books that no one's ever read. And who knows what happened to them all. Some people suspect China confiscated it, but hopefully some people scanned some of it in. The Doctrine of Discovery. I think this was when... like the way you were able to claim lands, I think. It's when the colonizers said they discovered territory, even if there were people there. Consensus reality. This is the reality we all consent to. But sometimes we don't really consent to this reality. We're forced into this consensus reality. Somewhat like the status quo reality. It's not the reality, it's the official reality. But I think consensus reality could also be like one-to-one, like we both will consent to participate in a role-playing game. And when you get into it, you realize that all of culture is a cult and we're all role-playing and wearing costumes. Scripted reality. It's the idea that all of this is scripted. It's fake. Stuff we're seeing on TV. Some of the events don't even happen. It's like there's a team of script writers writing the news, not because the news actually happened, but because they're actually writing a script with characters. Modern monetary theory, MMT. So I heard about this when I was studying for the Bitcoin exam. There's many different ways to describe it. The angle that I want to present to you is that the guy was saying we don't really need to be taxed because countries that create their own money out of thin air, they have no reason to not make it still have value. And that paying taxes back to the country that created the money in the first place is kind of silly. They could just create all the money they want. There's a lot more to it than that, but go ahead and look into it. It kind of made economics make irrelevant to me at that point, as well as worrying about the national debt. Between modern monetary theory and Michael Bloomberg saying, hey, when you owe the bank $50,000, you have a problem. But when you owe the bank $50 million, the bank has a problem. Once I heard that, that was it. I didn't worry anymore. Panopticon. Panopticon is like, it's a all-seeing prison. Impact management. Impact management is the ongoing practice of measuring, assessing, and improving impacts on sustainability issues. It is relevant for enterprises and investors who want to manage environmental, social, and government risks, as well as those who also want to contribute positively to global goals. Yeah, I think these are the people that ensure scarcity always exists. December 2nd, 1970, the origins of the EPA. So the EPA has been around since 1970, and we still don't have electric cars. Really, we should have cars that got 150 miles to the gallon at this point, and we don't. So you almost wonder if the oil companies are the ones that put the EPA in place. I don't have any way to prove it either way, because even if I did, they'd disguise it all. But there it is. They get $9 billion a year. $9 billion in 2020. You would think we'd have free, and think of this $9 billion since 1970. So that's like 50 something years, $9 billion a year equivalent as you adjust for inflation. We should have free energy by now with that kind of money. This was the message that I paused on the show, Inside Job. If you found this message, were impressed, please call this number. I called it and there was like a voicemail message. It was very hard to hear. Yeah, so the backwards message just says, your memory is now gone. You will forget this entire day, and you will watch The Big Bang Theory and order a delicious chicken fiesta bowl at TGI Fridays. That's what Marissa Turner says it says. I don't know. It was just a bunch of noise when I heard it. All right, so this was a quick, short Tinfoil Tidbits. I made it because I haven't made one in a while, so that's that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.